about our loss at the weekend. Tonight we're hoping that we can change that.
Yeah, we got this. 3-0, 3-0.
You're thinking 3-0 tonight?
We got this tonight, yes.
Well, we obviously want to win. Just hope it's a good performance. That's what we're missing, I think.
Yeah, and what do you think we should do differently then from Saturday?
Score
Other
goals.
than score?
Score goals. Yeah, that helps.
Yeah, we had
goals and don't let any in.
Bring De Bruyne on.
Bring Kevin on. Yeah.
Yeah, bring Kevin on a bit. Yeah, bring him on a bit earlier. Yeah. So what do you think the score is going to be? What are we hoping for?
3-1.
3-2.
I think it will be 4-0 for City, with a brace from Haaland and a brace from De Bruyne.
Oh, we hope so. Especially after the other night, we're hoping to come back. We want to get 4-0.
Yeah,
yes.
We need
yes.
this.
Let's cheer for the camera. 4-0.
Let's go.
I think the first thing is belief, that's for sure, and solidise that midfield. You know, protect the back.
Yeah. Well, I agree with that. We need some physicality in midfield because they're being bounced off the ball far too much. They need to be in there and making sure they've got possession.
Exactly. And what do you think the score's going to be, or what are we at least hoping for?
4-0, of course.
4-0, I hope so.
Well, I'm hoping for a 0, but not ours. That's the main thing. I think we'll go for 3-0.
3-0. Who do you think's going to score for us first?
I think Foden might sneak one in and then Haaland.
I think Foden really wants it, doesn't he? He really does. Yeah, thanks guys, thank you. So what do you think the score is going to be? What are we hoping for?
3-1.
3-2.
3-2. Well, you give him an extra goal there. I don't think I like that, do you, Kevin? So 3-2 and 3-1. And who are you hoping to score first?
Foden.
Just said Foden.
Haaland.
Let's hope. Who are you hoping, because you told me earlier, who are you hoping scores the first goal?
Foden, of course, yes.
And tell us why you're hoping it's Foden.
For my son, Caden, hope you're watching right now. I told you to watch.
Oh, lovely. So we're thinking 3-0 and we're thinking Foden to score. Well, let's hope you are right. Let's hope. Thanks, guys.
Thanks so much, Natalie, and a very good evening to all you Manchester City fans around the world. Welcome to Matchday Live for this Tuesday night Champions League fixture as we welcome Feyenoord to the Etihad Stadium. And could you ask for any more on a Tuesday evening as far as the lineup goes? Steve Howey, Paul Dickov, and an absolute pleasure to be back with Big Steve. Good evening, gentlemen. Really great to hear from the fans there outside the stadium and just pick up on the noise kind of amongst the fan base, because obviously it's a position we're not used to being in, Steve. We've now lost 5 in a row. I mean, that defeat at the weekend, and I think it's important to remember, that's the first time I've watched City lose at the Etihad in over 2 years, for a bit of perspective. But we're on uncharted territory. What's your assessment over the last kind of few weeks, Steve?
Well, being online, the presence, I think there's a lot of new supporters panicking. A lot of the older ones are sort of, it is what it is. But I feel like we've just got to get that sense of togetherness back, you know what I mean? The players are going through a bit of a spell. The injuries haven't helped the situation. Pep signing a deal, I think that's helped. Everyone's a little bit more relaxed now, thinking, OK, if anyone's going to fix the situation, it's Pep. And we're all positive going into this game, you know what I mean? It's a welcome break from the league. Yeah. It's a chance to put in a good performance and a chance to get a win. Like you say, we are in uncharted territory at the minute, but we'll bounce back tonight.
It's funny, I mean, I always come back to him as well, but my favourite saying, in Pep we trust.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think we can't not forget what he's done for the club, and if there's anyone who can put this right, it's the man himself. He's a genius at finding those solutions and maybe having to find a new way of winning games.
I mean, he's unbelievable. I mean, we've won 4 league titles on the trot. I think a lot of people expected some sort of drop-off before this.
Yeah.
So to get to this point and have this little spell we're going through, and it's just a bump in the road. This football club's been through many ups and downs over the years, you know, and it's just another one of them things. But take a step back, look at the players on the pitch, look at the people coming back from injury, look at the manager we've got, the foundation we've got, and look at these fantastic supporters. I mean, on the weekend, it wasn't going our way. One of the loudest I've seen it at the Etihad. Yeah. It's just that this is the Manchester City way, and we've just got to get behind the lads and starting tonight, hopefully we can move forward.
That's it, getting a big performance, to secure a win. We could hear as well there amongst the fans, kind of the two main areas really is looking at trying to keep a clean sheet, number one, but also trying to get the ball in the back of the net a bit more. What things would you like maybe to see us be doing to make those things happen, Paul?
I think it's when my sort of analysis of it is when we create chances and big chances, that's when Steve will tell you as a centre-half, that's, as defenders, that's when you've got to be your most sharpest. Mm-hmm. And in the last few games, the goals we've been conceding, it's more or less a few minutes straight after we've missed good chances. Erling had his chance on Saturday that normally he scores. Yep. I think it was 2 minutes later, Tottenham broke and scored. Then I think it was Phil Foden when he tried to toe poke it. It was normally he would have put his foot through. Yes. Goal 2 minutes later, and I think it's a concentration issue more than anything else. So I think when we're in the attack, I think the lads at the back, we know Pep wants to leave sort of 2-on-2 or just two centre-halves back sometimes, but it's the concentration levels for the whole team that's got to be bang on it. Yeah, we want to go and score and go and score and go and score, but you can't forget about the work you've got to do going back as well. Also, and is that also a bit of maybe an energy thing as well? Even for me, and we've been so key to the way we play. But even sometimes seeing Kyle, I've never seen Kyle get beaten. It's happened a couple of weeks in a row. Sometimes in that midfield as well, lacking that presence and maybe even tracking the Maddison run. Is it an energy thing a little bit? Do you think? I don't know if it's energy, but I think teams have been a bit more brave against us now. Yeah. I think, previous seasons when we've been blowing teams away at the Etihad, they've came in, they've sat in. They're a bit more expansive now when they're coming to us as well, because I think they probably feel that if we're not going to take our chances in the first 5, 10, 15 minutes, that they've got a real chance to go and attack against us. So something you've got to be aware of, and it's, teams, Feyenoord will be looking at the game tonight and thinking, we can probably come here and score based on the last few games that we've had. Yeah. So just that concentration level when we're in the ball, more than anything else. People are talking about the defence. You've got to defend as a team first and foremost. Yeah. As a striker, I'm more not worried. Would sort of go more towards the chances that we are missing, because the Tottenham game at the weekend, we could have been 2-0 up before they'd even step foot in our half. Yeah, absolutely. And also as well, and it's not excusing it, because the players on the pitch are still good enough and more than capable to maybe garner a result. But Pep has pointed out over the last 5 weeks, we've been without our 4 main central defenders. You've lost the best player in the world in Rodri, along them with, niggles to Doku, to Grealish, not forgetting as well Kevin De Bruyne. I think sometimes as fans, we need to zoom out and remember that is half the squad, massively key players there that we've not had at our disposal from the start of the season, really, Steve.
Well, when you're missing top-class players, no matter how good your squad is, you are going to miss those players. Yeah. Because the top-class players, yes, they've got very good players coming in, but I just think there's a hole with the squad when you have players that's maybe coming back, and they'll be looking at some of the players will be coming back, and they maybe be coming back a little bit too early because they want to help out. Yeah. Because obviously they're a brilliant bunch together. But it is difficult when, people look at this and they look at the results and they'll say, Man City's gone, which is absolutely nonsense. I mean, I think the time to worry is the fact that if City were conceding goals like they are, but they weren't creating any chances, they are creating chances, they just haven't gone in. Yeah. I mean, you play a team like Tottenham, for instance. Their last game before the break, they got beat off Ipswich, who hadn't won all season. And yet we all know how Tottenham can be quite, as Dickie's pointed out, being a little bit braver. Mm-hmm. And they've probably cheated in some areas by trying to come forward. And of course, the punished Man City. But just listen to the fans as well. I mean, yes, of course, you are going to miss top players. But I think it would be brilliant if they could keep a clean sheet and get a couple of goals, win 3-0. That would be a great boost for them. But all through this, I think that just the main thing is, it is a case of just keep calm. There's no need pushing panic buttons or anything like that by any means. No, absolutely not. We're still very much second in the league, obviously 7 points in this new Champions League format. So let's see how we shape up tonight. Who is fit? Who's starting? Who's on the bench? I'll bring you that right now. This is how we shape up tonight against Feyenoord, beginning with the ever-present 2 matches played in the Champions League. Ederson, one of those being a clean sheet. Rico Lewis at right back alongside Manuel Akanji, and he plays alongside none other than Nathan Ake. High praise from Pep in his pre-match conference for that man. And there he is. I think he's played the most games this season so far for an outfield player, Josko Gvardiol. Gundogan keeps his position in that holding role alongside Bernardo Silva, who captains the side tonight. And into the fold, wow, what a cracking run of form he had a few weeks ago. Mateus Nunes moving to the forward part of the pitch. Phil Foden
And he is back. Jack Grealish is in the starting 11. And of course, completing that starting 11, the big man, Erling Haaland. 321 minutes played so far in this Champions League campaign. 3 goals as well in those minutes. First of all, I kind of want to begin, Paul, with Jack Grealish being back. We saw him make an appearance at the weekend. So great to have him in the team. And what is he going to bring to this starting 11 tonight?
I'm buzzing for Jack, first and foremost, because he's been frustrated. You know, he had a great pre-season, picked up the injury just before the start of the season, and he's been in and out since. But look, Jack's a top player. You know, this season we won the Champions League, I keep saying it. He was by far our most influential player in all the big games that we played, and he'll bring a bit of composure if there is a bit of panic within the team. He'll keep the ball, he'll drag players to him, but I'm just delighted to see him back in the pitch.
Yeah.
He makes things happen, he draws fouls, he gets us up the pitch, and you know I'm a huge Jack fan anyway, so it's great to see him back.
Fantastic to see Jack back in the 11. Also as well, delighted to see Matheus Nunes, Steve. One of those signings we were sure where is he going to quite fit, was struggled not to get a run of games. Them 3 games he had before the international break, arguably our best player.
Yeah, he played out on the left and he did really, really well. I think he was unfortunate not to get a game at weekend. I feel like we missed a little bit of energy in the middle of the park, some extra legs in there. And he carries the ball well, he does, and he's a physical presence as well. You know, sometimes we can get accused of being a little bit lightweight in the middle of the park, shoved off the ball easily. It'll be interesting to see where he plays tonight. But, yeah, fair play to him. He's got his chance and he's starting to look like the player we signed, you know what I mean? So good luck to him tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's pick up on that. We've been trying to work out between us what might the formation be or who's playing where more particularly. So we're assuming Gundo holding. Who do you think might be the 2 in the middle then, Steve, do we reckon?
I'm going to go with Nunes, and then I think Jack will be on the left. Obviously, Bernardo will be on the right. Phil will probably be just in front of them.
Yeah.
But obviously drop back where you haven't got the ball. Will Jack Nunes switch from time to time? Will Phil switch? Could it be one of those rotation ones, or all of them, apart from really Gundogan and Phil? But listen, we sit here week in, week out, and I know there's a team that's being picked, but sometimes you just don't know where they're going to be playing. So that's what I'm kind of going with, but I'm pretty sure that the lads might have different views, and understandably so, given what Pep does.
I mean, off that, I'm kind of agreed with Steve. I feel it could maybe be that way. Would you say so as well, Paul?
I do, and I think going back to Nunes, I think his best form has been when he's come in off the left-hand side. So maybe him in the left. As Steve says, with Jack, interchanging a little bit.
Yeah.
Then you've got Phil who can play wide, we've got Bernardo. I think we could see 2 or 3 of them just interchanging all the way through it, because they're clever enough players, they're intelligent enough. And the one thing we'll have to do is cause Feyenoord a lot of problems.
It's funny as well when we talk about maybe, you know, panic stations a little bit from fans. The noise around Phil Foden, obviously, kind of straight away. Well, has he lost it already? And that doesn't feel quite fair. He had a tough start again, similar to Jack. Picked up an injury, and what's exciting, I think, is a positive, is we're yet to see Phil at his prime best again. And when he gets to that best, I mean, he was player of the season last year in the Premier League, and we know how much of an impact and how effective he can be for the City team, Steve.
No, 100%, and like you say, he's not started well. I think he'd be the first one to admit that. But we know what he's about and what he brings to the team. And I feel like, you know, he's just got to get up to speed. You know, something has got to happen for him, I think, a little spark.
Yeah.
That can, you know, he'll have one of them games where he'll run the show, get a little bit of confidence back, and then get the old Phil Foden back. But at the minute, we don't know where he's going to play. I mean, we're looking at the formation today. I could see him maybe starting on the right and maybe having Nunes, Bernardo, Gundogan in the middle, just as a bit of energy. And then, but this is the thing with Pep. Anyone can interchange, you know what I mean, and it's always moving. So, but Phil Foden will be back, like you say. He looks like he's getting fitter and fitter every game. And like you say, he was unlucky, Paul said, against Spurs not to score. So let's hope he can have a big game tonight.
Paul, do you ever remember having that? And because also when you said that, Steve, it made me think of Savinho, who, bless that boy, he's trying so hard to get his first goal, and you can see it feels like it just needs that one and it'll fall for him. Same with Phil, that spot. You remember moments as an attacking player where you've just needed that?
I had loads of moments that I didn't score when I was playing. Don't worry about that. But what you've just got to keep confident. You know, you can't. As a striker, you can't dwell on what's happened because it makes you worse. You know, you've just got to believe that you're going to get the next chance. When you get the next chance, you've got to believe that you're going to take it. If you don't take it, then you've just got to very quickly clear your mind and look for the next one again.
Yeah.
But going back to Phil coming back and easing his way back in, you can afford one or two to do that, you know, because your teammates around you, they're fit, they're flying, and everything else. But when you've got 4 or 5 players that are all in the same position, it can knock you out of rhythm a little bit. And sometimes when you have been out for a long time, and Steve will tell yourself, you look to your teammates to help you out a little bit. But there's 4 or 5 players that are coming, Kanji's coming back as well.
Yeah.
You know, Ruben's been in and out of the team. There's so many players, Sabinho, Doku, Jack coming back in tonight. There's been so many players that are trying to find their rhythm that sometimes, if you've got 1 or 2 of them, you look for the other 8 or 9 to help you out, to get you back into the form that you're in. And it's so difficult because then consistency in the team, the injuries that we've got at the minute, for them to fully do that. And
actually what we've not got is a more a majority that have found rhythm. Yeah. We've got actually more less. I mean, even with Kevin De Bruyne coming back as well, we see straight away when he comes on in the Spurs game, feels suddenly there were 3-4 chances, one after another, but he's still got to come up.
Even with the centre-halves that Pep's talking about, you know, Manu Akanji, it's been fantastic for us, but he's coming back in, and sometimes you look to your centre-half partner who's been there and his levels are up to there. But John's been injured as well, Ruben's coming in and out all the time, Nathan's in and out all the time. There's no real rhythm in there for you to get some consistency for them really to kick on to the form that they know we've got.
Brings me perfect actually to the defensive side of the conversation, and Steve, you know that position. Diving into that point more, when you do lose a leader, say like Ruben, because we know how vocal he is, especially when we signed him in that window and the difference and the impact he made. For the other defenders, obviously are still, you know, the best in their own right, but such a key voice and part of that defence, isn't it? And as far as lines and keeping a clean sheet, how integral is that player in the defence?
It's a huge loss, you know, because he, you know, whilst, you know, the other lads will look upon themselves as very good players, you know, they will take note of everything that he sees, you know, because he has got that presence about him. And as Dickie sort of said, which is true, when you're in, you're out because of injuries, you're in, you're out, but then you're paired with somebody, then you're paired with somebody else. You know, probably forwards are the same. You need that understanding of, like, I know for a fact if he gets the ball, he's going to be putting it in this position for me to run onto because we work together, we understand each other. It's the same as centre-halves. You know, me playing with centre-halves, I knew, you know, if the ball was in the air, 9 times out of 10, a player mightn't be brilliant in the air, so I'd always cover in the position. Whereas sometimes if it was on the floor, I knew I'd be absolutely fine. I'm still there. Yeah. And vice versa. They know me. So it is difficult when it is just like mix and match. I mean, I'm saying mix and match, but these are very, very good players. But it is difficult. When you're a player and you've been out, it's great for you to come in next to somebody, as Dickie said again, that has been there and he's solid. He's got the games under his belt. He's got the minutes under his belt. All of a sudden, I'm playing with somebody that has been out just as much as me. And we're kind of unsure. We're trying to bed in. We're trying to find our way.
But you try and rely on your teammates then to help you out, don't you?
And because of the problem that they've had is a player's in, he's out, he's in, he's out for a few weeks, he's in again, and that's what they've had, really, for a lot of the team, throughout the team. So when you've got lads coming in that's been out for a couple of weeks or however long, they're coming in with somebody that hasn't been there and solid for a good few weeks because of the injuries that City have had, which has been absolutely horrendous.
It's been awful and it's really not helped, but I did want to just dig into, and this is purely probably selfishly for me, but is there anything you'd like we could be doing better? Because I've seen when we've conceded goals and we're trying to keep this clean sheet, you're right, Paul, it seems to come after a quick break, but there seems to be a bit of a carbon copy of a break down the right. And don't get me wrong, a wonderful ball, but it always seems to be a wonderful ball against City, and someone ghosting in and tapping it in. Can we do anything better as a unit and as a team to stop that from happening?
You can always do better. You can always improve, whether it's communication, whether it's positioning before it even happens. You know, let's be set up and let's be solid, or put ourselves in the best positions possible, just in case that breaks down, just in case the counter-attack on us. Whereas sometimes, maybe lately, it's just been a case of, I expect, you know, Bernardo to keep the ball there. It's absolutely fine. And all of a sudden, you might lose it. And then, bang, you're attacked. You're not set. So that can be difficult. As I said, communication plays a big part. I think when you've got confidence, not only in your own ability, but your teammates, because you're looking for your teammates, and normally, a lot of times, your teammates bail you out, as you do, as games go on. But at the moment, there just seems that little bit uncertainty, which is surprising because of the top quality players. But it happens to everybody. You know, you're talking about strikers with goals and stuff. Sometimes you just need one to come off your backside. But the one thing that you would never stop doing as a striker was getting in those positions, because eventually it will come off. And it's the same with the defenders or the midfield players. Keep on doing the things that you know have served you really well for all these years. And eventually they'll get that sort of rhythm of games, but also the confidence in themselves that, right, I'm fit, I'm healthy, I'm ready to go, and then all of a sudden they'll just push on again.
You're off, and that's where the momentum comes from. One other positive as well that, Steve, you pointed out at the start of the show, of course, was the Christmas present that came early for all Manchester City fans in the form of a contract extension for our genius, our man Pep Guardiola. And before we speak about that, let's hear the thoughts of none other than Noel Gallagher.
Well, we thought it'd be a good time tonight to speak about the relationship that you built up with him over his years at Manchester City, and just what he's meant to the club from a supporter's perspective based on where the club is now. You know him really well.
Yeah, he's a good friend, I mean, every time I go to the match I go and see him, and he actually gets upset if I don't go and see him. But he means everything. I think when he eventually leaves, when people look back of what Manchester City is, it will be with this guy in mind. But not only that, I think he changed the game in the country as well. I remember when he got here, and the first season was when I met him, and we didn't win anything. We just scraped top 4. And I remember the next season they were following him around doing a documentary, and he said to me before the season started we were going to win the league, and I was kind of thinking, that's a big shout, you know. And he's been followed by we did the 100 points, you know. So the guy's like a wizard, and when you speak to the players are completely under his spell, and they run through brick walls for him. And on top of that, he's a nice guy, he's good looking, you know, he's got it all.
Here's one for you, mate. You talk about him, the players having the respect for him, which no doubt they have, you can see it. But here's a question for you. Never mind Pep at Manchester City. Has Pep in any way, shape or form transformed football in England? Has he forced other teams to do things differently?
What he's done is he inspired young coaches who all want to be like him, and in turn they do their thing and inspire their teams. When my young lad was growing up, he's 14 now, when I was going to see him play for the local team and in county trials, everybody does that thing that he does. Yeah. And it was almost like it was overnight. Everybody was split centre half, playing out from the back, pressing from the front. This is on school playing fields on a Saturday morning. So he changed the way that young coaches think about the game, and that in itself changed the game.
Does it worry you as a City fan thinking about the day when he goes?
No, not really. I mean, if we hadn't won 4 leagues in a row, right, if he hadn't fulfilled beyond his potential, then, you know, he'll get carried out of the stadium on a shield. And if he could nick another Champions League this year, it'd be great. But I think if he never wins another game from this point on, he'll be our most decorated manager. He'll be one of the most decorated managers in the league. I actually think his biggest legacy will be Phil Foden.
Yeah.
Because when the entire country was calling for Phil to go out on loan, to go down to the Championship and play, and he said, no, he's going to stay with me, and he's going to watch David Silva every day. And look at the kid now, you know, he's...
Fantastic to hear the thoughts of Noel Gallagher. Thanks to TNT Sports as well. That was when he was on co-coms for the Lisbon game. And obviously, I don't think it can be understated enough the importance of this contract renewal. But also in this time, it's a shining light, and it almost feels the way out, the fact that Pep is going to be here for the next kind of 2.5, 3 years. Yeah, it was a worry. Can't lie, as the fans. Every forum or every podcast I did, that subject was coming up. Is it Pep's last year? I don't think anybody really knew. And then it came out, and like I say, it's give everyone a lift. And I think the players can, you know, I think there might be some players whose futures were uncertain. They were waiting for the decision as well. Now I think people can just sit back and relax and think we've got 2 more years of Pep now. We can buy into what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And it's just fantastic news for the club. And like you say, at the recent run of form, he's clouding a lot of people's judgment. You know, people are thinking somehow that this Manchester City team is finished, but I can assure you, I don't think we are. No, not at all. And also as well, when, you know, maybe not necessarily a rebuild, but, you know, we've got a few players that average age, maybe a bit older than where we'd like them, so maybe bringing in new blood great for transfer windows as well, which is, I think, another important point.
And it's just took the words out of my mouth, Kel. I think if we're going to sign players in January or next summer, and there's still a question mark over who the manager's going to be, that they'll think about it twice, and they might even say, I just want to wait, and you might lose out on your targets that you want to get. I think I'm signing and doing it now and sending out a big statement to everybody. And it's like he's the best manager the Premier League scene. You know, he's breaking all sorts of records, and to have him here for another 2.5 years is unbelievable. And I think most people were looking at it and talking about it and saying, if he does stay, it'll only be 1 year. I think the fact he's staying for 2 more years is just sending out a statement to everybody.
Yeah, it really is. And I think...
Sorry, Kel, I was just going to say, I think as a player, first of all, if somebody like Manchester City comes in for you, you're absolutely flattered and you're thinking, I want to go there. But obviously, if there is uncertainty of a manager, you kind of, I want to go there. But when you've got somebody that, like Pep Guardiola, wants to sign you, as a player, you jump on the next plane to get there yourself. You know, and he's... Obviously, everybody talks about, is he the best manager ever? I think he is.
Agreed.
I mean, look, you can look at maybe Bill Shankly, Bob Paisley, Sir Alex Ferguson, but I think what he's done, and of course the 4 in a row, which everybody thought was impossible, clearly that's not. I mean, he is such an amazing manager with the clubs that he's been at and what he's done. And, you know, sometimes City buy players that they're not quite the finished article, but working under Pep, look what happens to them.
Yeah, and even like Noel said there as well about Phil Foden.
Yeah.
And as well, just something that's just come into me, he's just given his pre-match interview, and, you know, his big sentence again is we're going to continue to play our way. And it was almost a nice reminder there in Noel's interview, Steve, where in that first season, obviously there was the rhetoric of Pep can't play that football here, we hadn't won anything, scraped the top 4, then look what we went on to do. And I think the same kind of stands now, that he's not going to suddenly change his ways, and we can believe in that he will find a way, as he has done, not just here, but at Bayern Munich and at Barcelona.
Yeah, I mean, even you look back at the last 4 seasons, most of the seasons we don't start off particularly well.
No.
Me, myself, as a fan, going to the games, I've drove away from many a ground thinking, maybe it's not going to be our year this year, you know, that didn't look right. Then the next game, some little change will come into it. The treble season, for example, I remember winning at Arsenal, going to Forest, 1-1, very disappointed. Next minute, 4 centre-backs, go and win the treble. So he knows what he's doing, you know. He's got his philosophy and the way he wants to play football. And just because we're going through this little patch, it's not going to make Pep Guardiola all of a sudden panic and change the whole system. It's just going to make him more determined to make sure these players go back to what they knew before and get back to basics. I think it's get back to basics. We mentioned before about the some little things we could do better. I think some of the defending's been a little bit casual, you know, letting people get a perfect crossing, not getting to them in time. You know, maybe I've seen Kyle Walker maybe think, well, I'm okay here in this position, and all of a sudden they've put a great cross in. So I think it's just, you know, getting the players back to where they was, believing in themselves. And like you say, he's the man to do it. And I keep saying it, but it's got to start tonight.
Yeah, it will.
He always finds a way.
Yeah.
I mean, Steve hit the nail on the head there, this sort of October, November time, last few seasons. I remember last season everybody thinking we'd lost the league October, November. Yeah. We drew it with Palace at home. We drew away at Chelsea after leading. Yeah. Tottenham at home, lost at Wolves. And everybody was saying, oh, that's it, this team's gone. But they find a way to do it, they get the rhythm back, and then they go and win 12, 14, 15, 16 games in a row, and then they're right back in the mix again, and I've no doubt that's going to happen again.
It does, and it starts tonight. And while I say it as well, I mean, I'm sure they watch the show, but to Cheeky, to Khaldoon and to the Sheikh, thank you so much for helping us keep pep. Now, before we go pitch side with Alistair Mann to get the Feyenoord team news, I want to quickly tell you about a huge show that is happening this weekend. Of course, we are taking on Liverpool, and we're bringing you arguably the biggest Matchday Live show to date, because I'm going to be here in the studio. We're going to have FG down at Anfield, and Nat is going to be bringing you a very special Matchday Live show with a fan club over in Canada. We're going to be bringing all three together for that tantalising fixture on Sunday, so make sure you do not miss it. Nadem and Sean Wright Phillips are going to be in Canada with Nat. That is on Sunday. But back to business tonight. Let's go pitch side to Alistair Mann, who's got the Feyenoord team news.
Yeah, welcome to pitch side. A little taste of winter, that is for sure. Alongside me today on commentary duty is the former City goalkeeper Nicky Weaver. Nicky, these are strange times. We never expect City to be in these kind of times anymore, but Have you seen positives amidst all these defeats?
The positive is, I mean, I was at the game on Saturday and I covered the Brighton game, and you know, before the opposition scored, we could have been 2 or 3 up. So it's been a case of missed chances, and obviously we've been getting punished from it. But I think it just shows you the level that the team and the club have been at for so many years now. Everyone just expects it, and as Pep's alluded to, it's very, very difficult to keep that level, and we just need a little bit of a lull at the moment. Hopefully we can get out of it tonight, but yeah, there has been some slight positives, but yeah, we need to get back to winning ways.
It was a strange old game on Saturday. You mentioned there could have been a couple of goals up. The XG was a lot higher. They had 5 times as many chances in the game. Sometimes statistics are misleading, but do you think that tells you something?
It does, and I think the difference was, you know, Tottenham were ruthless and clinical in front of goal, and City wasn't. I mean, I don't think I can remember a game where so many shots went over from pretty close range as well. So they did have the chances, but when chances come, you've got to take them. Goals change games, and once Maddison scored the first one, you know, you're hoping that was going to spark City into life, and then when they got the second one, that was really the killer goal. And then, yeah, we expected them to come out second half, and it just, for whatever reason, didn't quite happen. And like I said, Tottenham were really ruthless on the counter, and they took the chances when they came.
Well, let's turn to tonight. You've had a chance to have a look at the City lineup. Any thoughts about it?
Now, listen, it's a strong team, isn't it? Thought perhaps De Bruyne might start having a little cameo appearance at the weekend. Obviously, he's not quite ready yet. Nunes has come back in. Had a little run in the team a few weeks ago and looked quite lively. So, yeah, he's got the legs there. So, yeah, let's hope they've got the shooting boots on tonight, and we can score some of these chances that we've been creating.
And a start for Jack Grealish, another plus.
Yeah, obviously, you know, he pulled out the England squad, and there was a little bit of hoo-ha made about that. But listen, I'm a big fan of Jack Grealish, and I liked him to come on a little bit earlier on Saturday than he did. But, you know, as soon as he did come on, he did look promising and did look lively. So hopefully we can get Jack on the ball and he can do what he does best.
Well, I've just got the Feyenoord lineup. Wellenreiter, the goalkeeper. Now Koop, Trauner, Hanko, Small, Hwang, Milambo, Timber, who's the captain, Haj Musa, Carranza and Paixão is their lineup. Now, I don't know whether you're familiar with Feyenoord or not, but I know you are. A lot of injuries at the moment, so they're kind of reliant on surprise players, really.
Yeah, I mean, Milambo, someone we spoke about earlier, is a young player, 19, come through the youth setup there at Feyenoord. I think he's got 6 goals this season already, 3 in the Champions League. So he's one to look out for. He plays just behind the striker, so yeah, he likes to get on the ball and make things happen and score and create goals. But yeah, they've not had a great start. I think they're 4th in the Eredivisie, 1-2, lost 2 in the Champions League. And it's a game that, you know, they will have threats. We've spoke about Milambo and there will be threats, but hopefully we can dominate the game and take our chances when they come.
No one quite knows how many points is going to be enough and so on, but you do feel with 2 away games away at Juventus and Paris Saint-Germain after this, City need to win it. Are you in that camp?
Absolutely. I mean, it doesn't get any easier going to those places, does it? And yeah, it's a strange, I mean, it's the longest league table I've ever seen, I think, and it's something that no one's really sure how it's all going to pan out, but at the end of the day, it's about winning games of football, and there's a game of football here at the Etihad tonight that City have got to win.
Of course, with Liverpool on Sunday as well, it's time to turn the tide, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a massive week, isn't it? I think it's a great time to play just after they've had a heavy defeat like that on Saturday. It's great to get sort of back on the horse, if you like. And I mean, the best thing about football is always another game, and this is the other game. So hopefully they can do the stuff tonight. We can come out convincing winners, which will then give us a little bit of confidence we need for Sunday, because it's going to be a massive game on Sunday.
What's your gut feeling saying about tonight?
I think City are going to win. Listen, they're going to dominate possession. It's about taking those chances. It's not as if we've not been creating. We have been creating. It's about being clinical and ruthless in front of goal and having that cutting edge. And if we take our chances, I'm sure we'll come out comfortable winners.
Well, the thoughts there of Nicky Weaver. Nicky on co-commentary duty with me tonight. Remember, download the app and we'll guide you through it from the start to the finish. Hopefully, a victory. Back to you.
Hopefully a victory indeed. Ali, thank you so much. Thanks to Nicky Weaver as well there. He has got your commentary over on the Manchester City app, so make sure you get your ears around that. But we just brought you the Feyenoord team news there. I've got the 2 Stees in the studio and Mr. Paul Dickov as well, if you've just tuned in. Thank you for joining us. Paul, you alluded to it at the start of the show, but they are probably going to be coming with a bit more confidence than they might have been had they been playing us last season, say, or maybe not on this run of form. So what are you expecting from Feyenoord this evening?
Look, their league form, as we've said there in interviews, has not been great. They're sitting 4th, I think 8 or 9 points off the top. They lost their last Champions League game, but They'll probably come here tonight and not see it as a free hit, but probably believing a little bit more because of the last few results that we've had that they can come here and get something. I don't expect them to come here and play expansive Dutch football because we could absolutely kill them if that's the case. But I think they'll probably sit in, as we see most teams doing, look at it as an encounter, but maybe be a little bit more expansive than what they would have done if they were coming here maybe a month ago.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some great shots here as well of the Feyenoord fans.
A lot of their fans were on my flight back from Amsterdam last night. They were absolutely off their heads, honestly. From the minute they got on the plane to the minute they got off the plane, they just sang all the way through.
It's funny actually because I've spoken to a couple of Feyenoord fans and they've sort of said they were on the flight with you and you were absolutely off your head.
Probably more like it. I was joining in.
We've highlighted as well though there Steve Malambo 3 games and 3 goals. You know, Musa 3 matches as well. I think he's had a goal and an assist. So they can hurt teams, and also Nicky said there off the back of a defeat for us, that kind of makes you want to win more. They lost their last Champions League game. Salzburg, I think it was 3-1 at home. So they'll also probably have the bit between the teeth a little bit.
Yeah, and I think for players coming to City, they'll be thinking, I can put myself in the shop window here. We've seen so many players that City or whoever's played against, and they've had a really good game and they're getting a move to the Premier League. You know, and I think there'll be a few of them players, the players that you've just mentioned, that'll be thinking, this is a perfect opportunity for me to show people what I can do, rather than being in the Dutch league. You know, I'm kind of on the TV all around the UK and all around the world, I suppose. So it's a perfect opportunity for them. But yeah, I mean, as you said, as we've said, as we've all said, they'll be looking at that, and all of a sudden they'll be thinking, you know, they're not unbeatable, they're not invincible, and they'll kind of have a little bit of confidence. But having said that, within about 5-10 minutes, I think they'll realise if City start the way that we're hoping them to start, they're thinking, oh, dear me, this could be a long old evening. So let's hope that it is.
Fingers crossed indeed. We also shared a little look there, Steve, because just from the City point of view and in this new Champions League format, obviously it's a group table. I think we're currently sat on 7 points. So we're 10th in the middle of the table, and with games to come against Juve, PSG, huge games. Not only is it important for us to want to get to winning ways, but 3 points feels crucial tonight in this new format.
Yeah, 100%. Like I say, it's one to stop this bad run, and 2, we need it. You know what I mean? This format is a strange format. It's we've never seen it before, so we don't know. You know, you look at your 10th. Are you really safe? Are you not really safe? You don't really know where it's going to go. But we need to win, and like you've just been saying about Feyenoord, they're going to come here tonight. And they're going to look at the last games that Man City have been in. And we've seen Brighton growing confidence, City missing chances, come out second half, make a little change, then go and beat us. You know, we've seen Tottenham, we missed our chances, they scored early, growing confidence. And I feel like what Paul was saying, like these teams can get at us a little bit. We're a bit of a wounded animal at the minute, so they can get at us a little bit. It's our job to, put them chances away early doors. And I feel like someone's going to cop for a quick, fast, aggressive Man City start soon, and we're going to find ourselves giving someone a bit of a going over, I think. But hopefully that's tonight. But like you say, if you're Feyenoord, like Paul said, a bit of a free hit. You know, if they're going to come here, if they're still in the game 25, 35 minutes, they can see Man City missing chances. They're getting chances themselves.
Yes.
That's when, you know, they're going to come out second half and say, just go for it. And we've got to stop that. We've got to get that fear factor back at the Etihad. We've got to get it back.
Yeah, couldn't agree more on that, Steve. Just bringing you some footage here of the lads going out to warm up at the Etihad Stadium. Of course, 8 o'clock kickoff. Feyenoord our opposition this evening. Now, as you know, City Plus, I mean, I'm biased, but it's a brilliant service that all you City fans should be signed up to. And, well, if you're not signed up yet, maybe this will convince you, because just for £5 a month, you get full exclusive content, and we've just put on our brand new documentary series. Now, the one last year was good enough to go on Netflix, and dare I say, this one is even better. Together, 4 in a row. It is our brand new series, and here's a trailer to whet the appetite.
That's why no one did 4 Premier Leagues in a row. That's the reason why it's so difficult.
So there we go. Together 4 in a row is out now on City Plus. So make sure you get signed up. Also, don't forget we bring you our women's games. We also bring you a lot of our youth teams as well. One who was in action tonight. I'll bring you that result in just a second. But gents, shall we play a little bit of Face Mash? It was my favourite thing to do, and we're bringing it back. Steve, you ready for this?
I am.
Oh yes, round 1. We've got 2 faces. We put them together. We have to work out who they are. Okay, so let's come on. It's very serious. Steve, get your glasses on.
Glasses are on.
Glasses are on. We're ready to go.
Kanji.
Okay, yeah.
And the little fella.
Yeah, the wee man. Isn't it, Sean?
Sean Wright Phillips.
There it is. It is indeed. And we're saying a Kanji and Sean Wright Phillips. We are correct. There we go.
That's the best I've seen Sean Wright Phillips.
Really works. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. Who have we got here, gents?
Schmeichel.
Yeah.
Very quick. Nice. Schmeichel.
It's not Edison's head, is it?
Is it? Maybe it could be, with the goatee. I feel I've seen Edison with that.
With that hairstyle.
With the goatee. I think you could be
Edison,
right there,
yeah.
Steve.
Edison's head, Schmeichel's bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll say, should we come lock in Edison and Schmeichel? We are, yes, 2 out of 2.
Man.
Well played. Great spot there, Steve. Okay. Next up.
I think that's me.
Yeah.
I'm going to say that's one ugly man.
That's
that.
me and
Stones.
Stones, I think.
That is that is a belter. Best one so far. That is 3 out of 3 for us in the studio. Let's take a look at the next one. Here we go.
Oh my God, Sun Ji-hai, Ilkay Gundogan.
Straight up. What a player as well. I love Sun Ji-hai. That is cracking. Were you not with Sun Ji-hai in...
In China, yeah. What a guy.
Was he all right?
What a guy, yeah. He was brilliant. Absolute hero over there, he is.
Class. Okay.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness.
Kyle Walker.
I mean, it looks like, dare I say, something out of Harry Potter.
Darius was that now?
Done it?
Top. Looks like, what, Harry Potter?
Yeah, like, oh, it's like the...
Troy Deeney.
It's good. It does have a look at Troy D. It's definitely Kyle. I don't...
The mouth.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Right, so which bit are we saying is Kyle there? The top or the bottom?
I think the top. But also the kit's a giveaway, actually, as well, isn't it?
I thought it was Darius.
Darius for sale. Do you reckon?
Maybe he's... Kyle, but the mouth's kind of put me off a little bit.
Maybe it's not... maybe it's a red herring with Kyle. Maybe it's not.
That means it's not.
No, I mean, that genuinely, I don't know.
That is hard.
That is...
Is that Fassie's head in here?
What should we look
at? Darius.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's his head.
But...
It's the face. I'm not sure about.
What we're saying, what do we think then? Darius and Kyle? Should we lock them to him?
We haven't got anything
I was
else, have we?
thinking it might be Kiki Mosampa at the bottom. I'm trying to think who scored and smiled like that.
I know. Mosampa is a great shout. Well, let's say Kyle and then either Darius or Mosampa. Let me see what the gallery say. No, it's Kyle. We were right with Kyle Walker. Nedum Anua.
Is it Nedum?
What?
Is it?
Nedum, it's Nedum's hair. The top head is Nedum, apparently, and then Kyle at the bottom.
Ah, they've had us over.
There. Yeah. Go on, let's do one more. We'll squeeze one more in.
Samaras, Foden.
Phil and gorgeous George.
Tell you what, there we go. It's a good-looking player, that. Gee whiz. Georgie Samaras never quite landed, did he? Really at City?
Great guy as well.
Was he a lovely man? Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. Right, there we are. First round.
There's a story we signed the wrong striker on that one, isn't there? But I'll keep that for off camera.
Yeah.
Tell me that in a bit.
Yeah.
Can we hear it now? I
think whoever...
Keep it clean.
Always clean. Always clean. I think when they went to watch him, they went to watch Huntelaar.
Oh, yeah.
And the rumour has it that we signed the wrong player.
Ah, there we go.
I'll say no more on that.
There we go. Wow. A classic scouted mishap. There we have it.
Happens.
Lovely stuff. Thanks for joining us on Matchday Live. If you've just tuned in, we just played a little game of Face Mash, and we're going to be bringing you round 2 of that in just a second. But we wanted to talk about now our youth team, who are always in action when we play the Champions League. They play the same team, but in the UEFA Youth League, and they were brilliant today. 6-1 winners over at the Joy Stadium. We had a second-half hat-trick in there, and while we hear from 2 of our young lads now, keep an eye out for the assist on this goal. It is something unbelievable. Check this out.
Well, Justin, first off, really important win and a really strong performance. You must be really pleased after that one.
Yeah, definitely pleased. After the last game losing at Sporting, we knew we wanted to come out here and react, and I think first half we performed well. Going in 2-0, there was areas we could improve, and that was spoke about half time, and I think we came out here, even though conceding first in the second half, really upped the level, intensity, aggression, and scored some good goals as well.
Yeah, obviously when they equalised, it was probably quite a tough 15-minute period, but the way that we reacted to that and then ended up winning 6-1 just shows the mentality of this team as well as the quality.
Yeah, definitely. We know in situations where in this competition we're going to suffer a bit, and teams are of a good level so they can score, but you know, if we keep calm and stick to the game plan, that our quality will shine through and we'll be able to create chances and score goals.
And Ryan obviously got a hat-trick, second half hat-trick. You had a massive hand in that first goal with a ridiculous assist. What was going through your head when you sort of took it past the players? And
I just thought, you know, I need some trickery to try and get out of the situation, and I managed to do so. And then I seen him run off the shoulder and just played it outside of the boot to him, and he's finished it well. You know, it goes to show everyone needs to contribute. Him coming off the bench and scoring a hat-trick. We need everyone in this competition to be able to go far.
Are you claiming that second assist as well when you got the touch?
Hey, without the pressure, you know, he doesn't get the goal, so I might claim that one. I don't know.
Absolutely, and it shows as well as an attacking player, creating goals is just as important as scoring them as well. So I assume you take a lot of pride in.
Yeah, definitely. Because you need the creation of the goal is just as important, you know, because we can get in the positions, and the final pass needs to be executed to a high level, and that's what we need to strive for in this competition, to be able to score goals. You know, we lacked it in the last game, and I think today we put that right.
It's obviously a few games beforehand, but it sets things up really nicely for that Juventus game now. You must be excited for that one.
Yeah, definitely. Last group game, we need to go out there and get a result. But, you know, it gives us all the motivation after tonight to go out there and be positive and try and get the win.
Thanks, Justin. Well played.
Thank you.
Well, Ryan, obviously the win's the most important thing, but let's start off with your incredible performance. That's a hat-trick in about 20 minutes. Must be a really special moment in your early City career.
Yeah, no, it's always good, you know, just want to come onto the pitch and excite people, you know, just come onto the pitch and be creative and get some goals for the team.
Was that 2 goals in your first 2 touches as well?
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever had an impact like that when you've come on?
Nah, not really. Usually I'm more out wide, like coming inside and getting shots, so it's a bit different. As long as we got the 3 points, that's what's the most important thing.
Absolutely. That first goal, obviously, brilliant piece of skill from Justin to set you through, but I imagine there was a lot going through your head as you made that run and got an opportunity in front of goal.
Yeah, because Justin did a brilliant piece of skill, so I did the same for him against Sparta, so I thought, you know, he did a brilliant piece of goal and he gets an assist off my finish. So
yeah, he's repaid the favour.
He's repaid the favour.
And how important as well in that second goal when he's done that press and given you the opportunity to fire home, it just shows that it's about the work rate off the ball as well as on it, doesn't it?
I think the work rate always reaps rewards, so just him pressing got me the reward and the reward for the team. So if we can keep up that work rate, it could be good for the future, maybe probably winning the tournament.
And just finally, obviously, a penalty for that third goal. I suppose there wasn't anybody else who was going to take that penalty when it got given.
Nah, at first I was a bit hesitant because it was Regan and Justin on the pens, but Regan was nice enough to give me the pen, so I'm really grateful to him, you know.
Yeah, it must be amazing to be able to carry the match ball off and have that with you.
Yeah.
And just finally on the performance as well, because it was a difficult 15-20 minutes at the start of that second half, so to come away with a 6-1 win and the strong performance shows the quality of the team mentally as well as on the pitch.
Yeah. I think that's just a big thing in a team, you know, having mental resilience. Even when they get a goal back, we can still go, forgetting about the goal, just treating it as like a normal 0-0 game, trying to win the game.
And this is obviously probably one of your standouts so far, but you've only been at City a few months. How have you found it, and how do you feel you've developed over that time so far?
The transition wasn't too difficult, I think, because Chelsea and City play the same way, so it's not really, I don't find it really that hard to, you know, change the way I play, and I just thought, just come in, create, do my thing.
But enjoying it at the same time.
Yeah, enjoying it, yeah.
Brilliant. Well, Ryan, well played and congrats on your hat-trick.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff from our under-19s there. Massive 6-1 winners against Feyenoord over at the Joy Stadium. And that does mean as well that they've jumped up considerably in the UEFA Youth League table. That puts them up to 6th. And then we've still, of course, got a few more game weeks to come. But 3 points means now City have 9 out of 15, which is a fantastic result so far. And I think it'd be remiss for us not to enjoy that assist and goal. That was, I mean, it was almost, it harked back to the Silva and Aguero against Wigan, Steve.
Brilliant.
It's
seeing it. Yeah. Some very talented young men there.
They speak so well as well, but here we are. Oh, stop that. We also heard from there, it was Justin Abodo and Ryan McAdoo as well. Fantastic performances from them both, especially a hat-trick after coming on off the bench, Paul.
Yeah, and I'm so impressed. We're all saying how mature he was and how well the boys speak as well. Look, they're all wonderful players, but it shows you we're not just producing wonderful players, but wonderful young people as well, which is just as important.
And also, actually, just going back to as well, when we talk about Pep's influence on the first team, what we're forgetting is that system is implemented all the way through the academy as well. So there's no panic stations about the way the football we're playing because it's working.
No, it's working. Like you say, you've seen some of the goals and the assists and the way they're playing football. It's from top to bottom all the way through the academy. It's all the standards are so high.
Yeah.
And it's great to see. You know what I mean? As a Manchester City supporter, to see that the future is bright like that. It's great.
It really is. I also do love hearing it when they've got a Manchester accent as well. There's Mancunians all over the show in the academy. While you guys were heading into the stadium, we wanted to get some fan questions for our guests. So we've got 4 of them, and I think they'll mention who the question is for. So let's get our first one.
Hey guys, this is Clay at the game. I'm new to the game. This is my first time here, so I just wanted to find out, new to Manchester, kind of wanted to find out what is the best thing about Manchester. What should I know and what should I do? What should I not miss while I'm here?
Oh, so one for us all. What should you not miss while you're in? Well, I'd throw out a chips and gravy, definitely. Can't miss that.
Needs to go to Mary D's, I think, across the road.
Cracking shout.
Sample the atmosphere.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
Well, he's already ticked 1 box. He's at the Etihad, isn't he?
There we go. Yeah. You started off well. Anything else for you?
I was going to go with the chips.
Nice.
To be quite honest.
There we go. Chips and gravy.
And the beer.
It's great to have you at the ground. Thanks so much. I think he's come all the way from Dallas, Texas as well, so fantastic to see. Let's get question number 2.
What's going on today? Hi, Paul. I'm Agnes.
I'm Kevin.
We've just got one question for you. We'd like to know who your favourite player is that's going to be on the pitch tonight.
Thank you so much. That one's for you, Paul. Favourite player on the pitch tonight?
Favourite player's Kevin, but he's on the bench, so I'll go with Jack.
Nice.
Yeah, I love the kid.
Yeah, lovely stuff. He's back in that starting 11. We've got it on the bottom of your screens there. Let's get question number 3.
My name is Mehdi, I'm from France, and I want to ask to Paul and Steve what's his favourite player from France.
Ooh, favourite player from France.
Can we go back in the day?
Yeah.
I
Anything you want.
I liked Michel Platini and obviously Zidane.
Yeah, Zidane.
Not Laurent Charvet, no.
No.
A great story about Lauren.
No.
Yeah, but
Paul?
I'll tell you off camera.
It's one of them ones.
Thierry Henry.
I was going to go for Thierry Henry as well.
I was watching a highlight reel of Zidane, though, actually, literally last week, and he was a joke.
Sensational.
Imagine him in this City team. That'd be frightening, wouldn't it? It'd be class. That's a great question. Thank you for that. Let's get the next one.
Hi, we're Roman.
I'm Phil.
OK, so we've got a question for you, Paul and Steve. Does Saturday's performance remind you of being in the 90s?
Well, I don't have to answer that because I wasn't here in the 90s. It's up to you.
No, it doesn't, because we would have lost 6, not 4.
It's we're completely worlds apart, aren't we, Paul?
It is, but you know what? And on a positive note from that, Steve had it before. The fans reminded me of the 90s on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because it seemed that when we were playing in the 90s, the worse we got, that this lot got some weird sort of kick out of supporting us more.
Definitely.
And, and even though I was away, you could hear the City fans singing in the 90th minute, 91st minute, and they're 4-0 down. So
there we go.
I think there was a thing that I'd seen on social media, and I think it was the City fans, and they were singing. about the fact that they'd lost 5 in a row. And I think other fans were gutted because it was their opportunity to give the City fans some stick, but they're actually kind of making fun of themselves, which was absolutely brilliant to see.
You see, other fans don't know that City fans get it.
Yeah. And also as well, I think what does get missed, but you only, if I speak to mates who go to their, respective clubs' home ground, City's away support, Steve, I mean, we are kind of biased, but it is kind of known for being up there as the best, up there as one of the best in English football. If you're ever lucky enough to go and experience it. The away support as well, I always think deserves a special mention, because the players always mention it as well.
No, it's fantastic, yeah. And like I say, we had a bad result in Lisbon. But after the game, back in Lisbon Centre, you'd have thought we won the Champions League. There's people swinging off the lampshades and everything, and it was just a typical Mancunian humour where it's like, we're here for the boys. They didn't quite do it today, but we'll have a good sing-song and a good trip home, and we'll see everybody next week and we go again. And especially when we were watching Paul's team, there was many a time I was getting off that coach saying I was never coming back. And then by the time I got back to Manchester, I'd say, I'll see you next week, lads. And that's just the way we was, you know what I mean? And there's no better supporters for that in the world for me. No, not at all. It's very much in our DNA. Well, I want to bring you some very exciting news, because on this weekend, Sunday, and I'm saying it's the biggest Matchday live show to date, so make sure you are tuned in. It is, of course, for that massive clash against Liverpool, and we're going to be bringing you, almost 3 different shows. FG is going to be at Anfield. I'll be here holding the fort in this studio, and then Nat is going to be over in Canada with the Premier League Trophy Tour with Nadem and Sean, so make sure you do not miss that this Sunday, the biggest one yet. And speaking of the Trophy Tour, Paul has had a lovely little trip and has been bringing our trophy to our fans over in Sao Paulo.
Because some people might have tasks. How can we
So there we have it, some snapshots from Paul's visit to Sao Paulo, which is where our 4 trophies were on tour. Their next stop is Canada, and that is where we're going to be bringing you a Matchday live show from on Sunday. Make sure you don't miss that. But, Paul, I always love hearing about kind of what is the temperature and the feeling when you go to these places, and it looks like you had great fun in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, it was brilliant, and, I say it all the time, never ceases to amaze me, the passion and the knowledge that the football fans have got for Man City out there. Even the beating when we done the fan screening on Saturday night, losing 4-0. This was the event here. It was not a bad little bit on the beach, I must admit. We were sitting watching the game. But they were just singing all the way through. Their knowledge of the players and the club and the history of the club is phenomenal. And, and they realised that 99.9% of these fans that we spoke to them were there. They'll never ever get the chance to come to the Etihad. And they're so appreciative of the club going out there and taking the trophies out to be up close and personal with it all, and it's the same everywhere we go. And then always the best things we do is when we go out into the communities there. We went and visited the young leaders, the Citizens Givens Project, and these are kids that have literally are on the street on their own, who train themselves to go into leaders and to be leaders.
Wow.
And the smallest of little huts that you can see, but then they go back out and get the other kids off the street and then train them in to do it as well. And you know, the Young Leaders programme is unbelievable, and the club and the city and the community need to take so much credit for it. You know, it's so humbling. And these kids have got absolutely nothing, but they want everything, and they're doing everything they can to help the community get back to where they want to be as well, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, it really, really is. Well, listen, that's Citizens Giving and City in the community. You can lend your support to that as well, and you know, if you can offer a small donation, it goes to projects like that. Now, we're just going to keep in Brazil for a second, because it's always nice to talk about a player that we all loved, our captain, Fernandinho, and our studios team are working on a new series at the moment, really interesting, which is looking at football after retirement. So they went over to meet the man himself, and he gave us a little tour, as you can see, of some of his shirts, his trophy and medal cabinet. Wow. And then also speaking about where he finds himself, he is at a club over in Brazil. He's now 39. He's recovering from an injury, and he's kind of trying to make the choice of whether he comes back and tries to play or maybe hangs up his boots. I mean, if he does hang up his boots, I mean, it's not too bad of a trophy cabinet, that is it, Steve?
It's great. I mean, what a player he was. Brilliant player. I love to see all that. You know, it's good to see what they're up to, but you know, you look at the pride he's got there, going back to Brazil and all his little trophies and stuff like that. It's fantastic to see, and I wish we still had him now.
Yeah, so do I.
He's an absolute hero out there.
Really?
If you want to make friends with the Brazilian fans and you're struggling, if they don't like you, just mention Fernandinho and they'll love you forever.
Wow.
Everywhere we went, everybody we spoke to, whether it be in the ESPN studios or out in the streets or the Puma store or at the events we were doing, just mention Fernandinho and that's it. They love you for life. Yeah.
There we go. Good bit of advice there for anyone watching. But it's quite an important conversation topic as well. What the series is exploring, Steve, is life after football. When retirement does come, it must be hard to navigate, especially when you've dedicated the majority of your life to this one thing, and then all of a sudden it stops.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of told what to do, when to do it, what time, all that kind of thing. Everything is regimented, and all of a sudden you've got all this free time. You don't have to do anything. I think some players embrace it. Some players struggle. They really do. And there's always the different trials and tribulations around it, and relationships break down, and a lot of things can happen. I think even if you've got a strong mentality, just things, whether you've been looked after financially or whether you're not, and I think you then look back and think, how lucky you were to be a footballer, to be with those lads day in, day out in that environment. Yeah. I think for me, to be a footballer is the best job in the world, because you're getting paid to run around the field and stuff that you would do with your mates. Mm-hmm. For nothing anyway. But yeah, of course it has. You see players that go on and do brilliantly, and you see players that really struggle. So it'll be interesting to look at that. And I think if you were doing a documentary, whether it does look at other players, the scale of how some players can cope and how some players don't.
Yeah, I think it's going to be really cool as well, because they're doing it across different generations of footballers. It's a series, so we'll look at it at different stages. That's got to be the hardest decision, obviously, where Fernandinho finds himself now, coming back from an injury, 39. I think the question they're asking him, and he's asking himself, is when do I choose to stop? And that's got to be such a hard.
It is. It's horrible. It's horrible. And I don't know about Steve, but when it came. For me, I knew my body. I just had an operation on my back, and it was my body telling me more than anything else that I wanted to stop. And I tried to carry on a little bit, but I was half a yard short. I couldn't do the things I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to do up here, but my body just couldn't do it anymore. And I was so fortunate that I finished playing and went straight into managing. So I finished being as a player in the May, and in the June I was a manager for the first time. So I didn't have a time without it. And then when I left Doncaster in 2015-16, the club were first starting doing little ambassadorial things and everything else. So I was fortunate that I didn't jump back in. I didn't have to jump back into management, because I had this year with the club as well. But a lot of people and a lot of ex-teammates do struggle with it. They don't know what to do. And as Steve said, you're literally from 15, 16-year-old till you finish playing in your late 30s. You're told what to do. You don't even have to take you don't even have to take your own passport to check in.
Wow.
You get checked in for flights by the club. You do everything, all the travel's done. And a lot of people, not just people, a lot of families really struggle with it.
Yeah.
To do it.
Well, that series is going to be really interesting, important
amazing.
conversation as well, and that'll be coming to City Plus as well when that is all wrapped up. So make sure you do get on that. Remember as well, that's where you can see Together 4 in a Row, our brand new documentary series. I think if you use the code Together4, you'll get a special deal on a year subscription as well. So a good Christmas present there. Right, before we get final thoughts, we're squeezing in another round of face match.
Ooh.
Okay, we've done right. We're going straight in.
Haaland.
Yes.
Donny and Haaland.
Yeah.
Wow, that was quick.
What a beast that would be, though, wouldn't it?
Oh,
Wow.
dear me.
And it was confirmed that in the studio? Spot on, lovely. We're doing well here, guys. OK, next up.
Kanji.
Is it not Ake?
Ake, sorry.
And
yeah.
Oh.
Do you know, I think it is.
Oh, what about Ake? What about Distan?
That's Sylvan, yeah.
Sylvan, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think it's Sylvan.
I don't know.
It might be Yaya, you know.
I was thinking Jesus.
Ooh.
What are we thinking? So we're saying Ake?
Definitely Ake.
I'm thinking Sylvan.
Yeah?
Yeah,
so,
go on.
So we lock in Distan?
lock in
We're going to lock in Distan, Gallery. What are we saying? Yes! Yeah,
Well done,
nice. Still on, 100% record. Next one.
Zinchenko? No?
I think I've got. I'm saying
De Bruyne's got to be in there.
De Bruyne is in
100%
there.
De Bruyne. But the only player I remember having a
hair like that
was
Martin Petro.
Stevie Ireland.
Stevie Ireland.
So we go with that.
Yeah, lock it.
Yeah, spot on. Stephen Ireland. Yeah, Stephen Ireland and Kevin De Bruyne.
Micah.
Micah and Doku.
Micah and Doku from the studio floor here. Gallery, we correct?
Jeremy Richards.
Spot on. And final one, last face match of the show. Ooh.
Rico.
Yeah.
And it's, OK, we're giving us a look. It's a player from your era, from Stephen Paul's era, Rico, and someone from...
So it's
Paolo?
That's what I thought. Paolo One-Shot, was it?
Stumped us here with the last one.
Paolo? That's the only one I can think of.
It's got to be One-Chop.
Choppy.
It's not, it's Trebelsi.
You know what? I had that in my head as well, and I thought, not saying that, it won't be
The Pringle, Chappie used to call him.
Really? Why?
Because he was that thin that Chappie said he was like a Pringle that if you stood on him, he would just crush it to bits.
He scored a great goal at Old Trafford.
He did.
Actually, have you given us a surprise one more, are you, Gallery? Yeah, they are.
Oh, my
oh wow.
God.
What's going on?
Does that mean Bernardo?
Yeah, spot on. That is a cracker, Paul and Bernardo there. Gosh, that has absolutely flown by. We've got 2 minutes before we're going to hand over to Alistair Mann, who is alongside Nicky Weaver this evening for your commentary as we take on Feyenoord at the Etihad Stadium. Just a quick final thought. Steve, we don't want to put the pressure on it too much. Imperative, really, we try and get back to winning ways tonight.
Win for me today, you know what I mean? Win, clean sheet. You know, get back, nice performance, get a bit of confidence in the players, get the fans back on side. And, yeah, that's all I want, nothing else.
Lovely, same as that for me, Steve. Paul, as well, what would you like, hoping to see maybe taking them chances a little bit more?
Yeah, and like Steve said, getting back to a fast start, especially at the Etihad, pressing from the front, not letting them have a second in the first 15, 20 minutes. A couple of early goals and a comfortable win and a clean sheet.
And on that as well, we'll be looking to the defence and Edison to hopefully start building that solid structure at the back, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, just get back to basics and get back to what they do and they have done for years, really, which has been really solid, organised, really good communication. A clean sheet will be brilliant tonight. And, of course, they will create chances and we'll put them away, win 2-3-0, be absolutely perfect.
Lovely. Well, on that, we can bring you these are live pictures. Team are lining up in the tunnel, so quick predictions, please. Steve?
3-0.
OK, 3-0. Steve?
2-0.
2-0, nice.
4.
Oh, he's gone big.
Really?
Gone big.
I usually go bigger.
Yeah.
That's not big for me.
If you wanted to throw in 1 or 2 goal scorers in there?
Jack and Erling.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes, I would
OK, yeah, delighted. As you can see, Jacko coming into the fold. Right, that's it from us. What a show, gents. Thank you to Paul, to my 2 Steves, and thank you to you for watching. Now, make sure you come join us at half-time and at full-time. And right now, go get your ears around commentary from Alistair Mann and Nicky Weaver. We will see you at half-time. The last thing for me to say is, come on, City.
Thank you, Kel. Players in the tunnel, light show on the field, crowd expectant and exciting. Great following from Northern Holland, or Netherlands I should say, and it is going to be a raucous evening, that is for sure. Well, for every peak there is a valley, and after an entire mountain range of incredible highs, the Blues are currently in the